Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers, and welcome to another exciting season of So You Want to Be an Imagineer. This is Tiki here, and I'm going to be taking you through the So You Want to Be an Imagineer historical retrospective that I've been promising you guys for literally over a year now. It's funny because just last night I went back and watched the one video I managed to put up for Season 10 before my webcam went kaput, and hopefully that doesn't happen again this season. But I just watched the sign-up video, and I was like, oh yeah, guys, I'm going to get the historical retrospectives up to you in, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. And it's like, it's just embarrassing to go back and watch that stuff, because obviously I never got to it. But, of course, part of the reason is that my webcam crapped out, so here we go, right now. This historical retrospective is going to be split up into 3 parts. It's going to be covering seasons 1 through 3, which is what I like to call the Genesis era. Yeah, I have fancy names for it and everything. And then seasons 4 through 7, 4 through 6, I think. Seasons 4 through 6 are the evolution era, where the game kind of evolves from just this idea to really the more complicated and complex thing that it is today. And then seasons 7 through 10 are what I like to call just simply the strategy era, because that's when things really started to get down to business and we really started to see an emphasis on, of course, strategy in the game. But before I get into all that, I want to take a little bit of time to just go over the genesis of armchair Imagineering competitions, or at least my involvement in it. Now, I'm not sure if I was the first one to ever pitch this idea. I really don't know. I've been considerably active in some forums, some Disney fan forums. My first forum was mouseinfo.com, and I really don't even think that site's around anymore. If it is, they have completely different ownership and everything. But mouseinfo.com, I actually registered for, right when my Disneyland fandom was at a peak. It was when I first visited the park back when I was like 11 or 12, and I was a totally obnoxious little kid back at the time, and it really shows through in my posts. I'm sure if I went back and read some of those forum posts, I'd just be absolutely just appalled at myself. But I was really into the idea of Disney fan boards, and I really wanted to see what else I could do with it. So for a while there, I started to get into pro boards, into the free pro board software. And of course, being a dumb little kid who really didn't even know what he was doing, my boards never really got that much attention, except for one person, and that person is Snoopy, who actually went on to win Season 10. Snoopy was with me through my, through just trying out a whole bunch of ridiculous pro boards, and I'd throw everything at the wall. I remember I had a Burton Land forum that was all about Tim Burton movies, and then I had a music forum, and just stuff where it's like, I didn't even have any business talking about it, let alone trying to run a forum about it, and me and Snoopy were the only members on it. It was a sad little attempt at getting the community started. But the one forum that we made that really sticks out in our minds is this forum called Ridestorm. Now, Ridestorm was a term coined by Snoopy in one of our early forum days, where it's simply a brainstorm for a ride or an attraction. And when you have it, you're just like, oh, Ridestorm. So I really took that idea and I ran with it, and I created pro boards for the Ridestorm concept. And now my vision of this forum was just, a community where people could just run wild, just post their ideas for Disney park attractions that obviously probably couldn't happen in the real world, but just would be fun to speculate on, and, get feedback and everything else. And lo and behold, I think So You Want to Be an Imagineer today, and the forums and the main game really is the full realization of that concept. But I'll get into more of that later. But, so, Ridestorm kind of came and went. Like I said, me and Snoopy were pretty much the only people on any of those forums, those early pro boards. And I got attached to another Disney fan site called Mouse Times. Oh god, I'm pretty sure at the time they were called Disneyland Info. I'm not completely sure. I know Mouse Times was a name that they went by most of the most of their run. I'm pretty sure that site's, like, completely dead now again, like Mouse Info. It's sad that all these sites are just dead. Like, thank you, VisionsFantastic, for still being around and kicking and holding on to your forum, because we are a small but dedicated group of fans, and quite eccentric in our dedication, obviously. But anyways, I was on Mouse Times, and I had established myself as a regular poster. This time, I was still probably posting, like, I'm sure my grammar and my spelling was probably atrocious, but I was at least trying to not be completely immature, and I was trying to put some of my thoughts in my posts. So I established myself as a regular poster there, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure the genesis for the idea of an armchair Imagineering competition came around when I was first getting into Survivor. I'd say maybe around Survivor. I started watching Survivor in Season 7, Pearl Islands, but I didn't really get majorly into the gameplay aspect of it until about Season 10 or Season 11, where I really started to appreciate the people who were playing on the game on that show more than just the over-the-top, personalities. And that's when I really started to... And I had watched The Apprentice. Yeah, I watched the first couple of seasons. I've never been a huge Apprentice fan, but, I kept up with it. And just one idea I kept coming back to was, like, I really love the idea of armchair Imagineering online, and what if we had a competition about it? What if everyone, what if we had a project each round, everyone submitted a project, and then, just like American Idol was another big TV thing at the time. Every week someone would be eliminated, the weakest project would be eliminated. Now keep in mind, this format that we held on to for quite a long time until Season 6 was much more orientated on, just your overall skill set as a player and not so much how well you fit into a team, which is more what the modern day game is sort of turned into. So I tried it. I just posted a competition called The Imagineer, and that's, it was a takeoff of The Apprentice in title. And if I remember correctly, my first attempt didn't really get a lot of success at all. It got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people playing it. Most of them dropped out. I don't really think there was a real winner. But then, someone who actually would later play in So You Want to Be an Imagineer and become an all-star, he actually resurrected my idea. And this time, the game that we put on actually went really well. I remember that I was actually playing in it, and when I got eliminated, I just kind of freaked out because I was still immature. And, don't get me wrong, I'm still an immature 20-year-old who has no idea what he's doing, and I'll be the first to admit to that. But, I was an even more immature 14-year-old at the time. And I remember, that caused a little bit of controversy because I think I said something like, this person doesn't deserve to win, or something really stupid like that. Obviously, I'd never do anything like that these days, and I'm really glad that for, 99% of the time, So You Want to Be an Imagineer doesn't have any sore feelings like that. But the person who resurrected the game was Brendan McIntyre, a.k.a. OSU Phantom, a.k.a. Stitch. Stitch was his screen name on Mouse Times, but you guys probably mostly know him as Fantastic, who was in Season 6, and then he changed his username to OSU Phantom. Yeah, he was the one that resurrected the concept, and then for a while there, for some reason, the Imagineer became a main game on the site, and it was actually something that was advertised on the main page, and the administrator would actually give away prizes and stuff. I still have one of the prizes I won called the Imagineering Workout. It's a pretty popular Imagineering book. I'm sure you guys have at least heard of the Imagineering Workout series. I won Season 2 of the official version. And I believe we only had 3 or 4 seasons of that. For some reason, making it official, this is something I've never figured out, but making the game official and having prizes and everything, it still never really got the attention that So You Want to Be an Imagineer's gotten over the years. And I don't know, I guess that's just because So You Want to Be an Imagineer is just sort of a really grassroots thing that's just kind of held onto itself through a dedicated and devoted group of people. And of course, I have all you guys to thank for that. But anyways, in the first season, one of the interesting things to note is that in the first season of the original game, I was playing in it, and I actually had an alliance. And I had an alliance with the person who actually won. And I just think that's a little interesting, like, footnote in the history, because back then, like, nobody was thinking about alliances or anything like that. It just didn't happen. So, I don't know, I just find it funny that, my younger self was even at that stage where we hadn't even gotten to So You Want to Be an Imagineer yet. But even at that stage, I was just hyper aware of the fact that alliances can actually make the seasons way more interesting and compelling in some cases. I mean, we'll get to that more when I talk about the strategy era. But when I was eliminated in Season 1, again, I took it rather hard. I didn't take it as hard as I took the getting eliminated from the unofficial season. God, I'm sorry, this is all running together and confusing, I'm sure. I hope you guys can follow well enough. I know this is just kind of a long-winded tangent, like all my videos are going to be. But, after I was eliminated from Season 1 of the main Imagineer game on Mouse Times, I was contacted by a member called Disney Parks Fan. And he said that he was a member of VisionsFantastic, and that he just started up a competition similar to the Imagineer. I'm pretty sure he was actually inspired by the Imagineer itself, called So You Want to Be an Imagineer. And, the rest is kind of history. I was brought on as a third judge, and of course I worked my way into being the, the runner of the game come Season 4, but we'll get to that when we get to that. In the meantime, I'm going to stop this video here, and I will get to the first 3 seasons, which, as I said, I like to call the Genesis era, a little later on in the week. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this little nugget of history, and I hope you'll look forward to the ones to come.